So basically we saw the FBDI format of loading the journal entries. So today we will try to create the custom source and the custom category, and we will try to utilize FBDI template, and we will load few entries there. And we will see like how it will happen in real time when we are migrating the balances from, let's say, legacy system to Fusion. So we will see all those things.
Okay. Again, come again. What are we doing today? Importing legacy data, is it?
Yeah, no, not exactly legacy data. So we will see like how the legacy data will be imported in real time. Like when
Okay.
we are implementing the application, so what are the process that we will use? Because when we speak about the real time, we will
Hmm.
not use AFBDI for data migration. So for data migration, we will use FBDI. So AFBDI will be utilized more in the daily transaction. Let's say there is a system where we will create in a larger volume of journal entries. So that is when we will use the AFBDI. But for migration, we cannot use this for the performance issues. So we will go for FBDA.
Okay.
Okay, so there we have the trial balance and the other things. So I will show like how we will load the trial balance. Okay, so I'll start with journal source. So the navigation would be we will have the defined ledger. Under defined ledger, we have defined ledger options. I mean general ledger options. So under this, we have a journal source, manage journal source. Yeah, so I'll create a new source here. So let me say Premia Legacy. So the source key is nothing but a unique identifier where we can utilize this key when we are importing the transaction. Just for the identification purpose, we can use the source key. So if we want to use this particular option called source key, we can say import using key. Okay, then we here if you see we have a few options. So we have option to freeze the journals. So let's say I'm using this particular source to import the journal entries. So after importing this entries, should I freeze the system? Like no one will be able to edit or make any changes to this particular journal entry. So that I can enable it here. So if I say yes, so which means I can freeze this journal. No one will be able to edit anything. Okay. And we have partial allow import corrections only. So which means let's say the journal which we have imported has ended up with error or the exceptions. So only the exception part I can correct it. Apart from that, let's say the journal has imported without any error. So I'll not be able to make any changes. So that is the difference between yes and partial allow.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have no. No means that means we are not using this freeze. So even after importing it, I will be able to edit it. So that is the meaning. So that's what about the freeze journals. Okay. Then we have accounting date rule. So accounting date rule is used to specify how this account rule should work to identify the accounting date or the open periods. Okay, so in this case, we have three options. So one is to fail, leave alone, and roll date. So when we say fail, which means system will verify the open date. So let's say I have entered the journal entry for maybe January 2021. System will check and it will verify that the open period is December. So system will give exception for this particular record. So it will fail with the exception when we click the first option called fail. Okay, and we have a second option called leave alone. So leave alone is nothing but you can just have it, but you will not be able to post it. Okay, so this is like we are giving privilege to have this. And then we have a roll date. So roll date is nothing but system will check the latest available date. So let's say I have given January 10th of January 2021, and system verifies that the latest period is December, let's say 31st December. So system takes the latest open date and it will roll to the exact last date of the open period. Okay, so I'm just choosing for roll date. And we have option to import journal references. So let's say we have the journal references to be also imported as a part of migration activity. So we can have the references also imported. By enabling this option, we can achieve this. Okay, and if you want to use the source key, I can just use this option. And we have journal approval. So if we wanted to use the approval mechanism, so usually for data migration we will not use it. So for the custom journals, let's say I wanted to use the approval, I can use it. But usually for the migration activity, definitely we will not use the approval. Okay, so this is about the journal source. Fine.
Okay.
Okay, so next step is to set up the categories. So category configuration, this is straightforward. We will just define a category for this. So let's say premium trial balance. Okay, so that's it on the configuration part. Okay, so the next step is to download the FBDI template. So in Google, I can just type journal template. Yeah, so here if you see, we have multiple options. So this is specific to each module. So if we want to get the template for the cache management, we can get. So basically the navigation is that we will just search for any template, and we can just search for the link or the repository. So this is the common page where we can identify or we can find all those configurations, and if you want any reference, we can see it from here. And if you wanted to understand any technical part of it, like the REST API and the other things, so we can get everything here. So this is a kind of a common repository that has been maintained by Oracle. Okay. So here to get our template, the navigation is that we will click administer, and from here we will say get started with file based import. So here we will have it for asset, we will have for budget cache management similarly. So we wanted to get the journal import. So I clicked general ledger. Under general ledger, we have account combination and the other things as well. So we wanted to get template for the journal import. So I'll just click this. So this is an hyperlink where we can download our Excel based template here. So I can just click this option. So this will download in the Excel format. Yeah. So now the file has been downloaded. Yeah, if you have noticed it, so if you see in AFBDI, system will ask for the login. So similar to that, here we will not see those options because this is a kind of a load where we can use it without any sort of interface between the application. So we are
The
just
ODM
loading.
model.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Which one are you talking about? That's Excel template.
Yeah, Excel template. So both are Excel template. If you see AFBDA and FBDA, both are template. But if you see, this is in different format and that will be in different format. So AFBDA is a common template where that is stored inside the application. I can just click the option called journal import. From there, I can download the template, and I can use my login to add the data into the application. So that is simple. But here, if you see, I will navigate to the Oracle repository. So from repository, I will download this template and I will convert this into CSV file and I will load back into the application. So here we will not have the logins.
Okay. So there's no macros here.
Yeah, we don't have macros here. So in the first page, we will have basically the instructions and the other details.
Are you sharing the screen? Because right now it's just a
Uh,
page.
okay, maybe, okay, this game. Yeah, I think I didn't change the
Yeah.
share actually. Yeah, so this will be our template. So if you see here, so this will have few changes from AFBA template. So AFBA template, if you see, we will have header information and the line information. But here, if you see, so this will be an big stretch where we will have all those information inside this one sheet. Okay, so I'll explain each one of it. But before that, we will have the instruction page. So we will have the overview, and we will also have the instruction like how to fill in data and how to load this particular sheet. Okay, so the process is that basically after filling in the data, so we will click generate CSV file. So this will store as an CSV file inside our local drive. So after our work is done and after we convert this file into CSV format, so we will load back into the application. So that is when we will have the UCM role. So UCM is nothing but Universal Content Manager. So this is kind of an middleware product where this is Oracle's own product. So it is maintained for the purpose of data movement. So let's say I have something in the Excel sheet, and if I have the data in the required format, let's say in this particular format, so I can fill in the data and I can directly push. So I will upload this CSV file, and system. This UCM will automatically import all those data into the application. Okay, so that is the difference between FBDA and FBDA.
Sorry, in FBDA, there is no, it just generates a CSV file. That's all. There's no login and all that. You download it from Fusion. The
Yeah.
FBDA is embedded in the application, right?
Yes, correct. So only difference is that that is embedded inside the application, and the other thing is that we have certain limitations there. We cannot load more than 20,000 or 30,000 records. So
Mhm.
system will have performance issues in that particular format. But whereas here, if you see, we can upload even 50,000 records in this format FBDA. So this is one advantage. And if you see AFBDA, we don't basically have this one, uh, uh, the UCM and the middleware products coming in AFBDA. But whereas if you see in FBDA, we will have this part. So we will download, I mean, we will save this as an CSV file. And after saving this, we will use the concurrent program or the scheduled job to load the particular data, the JVs that we have created into the Fusion application.
Okay.
Okay. So we will see each one of it. So before that, I'll take a minute to explain each field. So here, if you see, we have the ledger ID. So the status code will be always new unless I'm making any update. Okay. So since I'm using this source model, so the instance that I'm using is source. So I will not have an option to update or do anything. So it will be always new. If you see here, the list of value will be always new.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have the ledger ID. So when we are filling the data, I will show how to take the ledger ID. So ledger ID is just a backend term to see the ledger basically. So in front end, we can take the ledger ID. So we will see that. And we have the effective date of transaction. So when exactly I'm making this transaction, I'll specify it here. And we have the journal source. So journal source and category is the one that we created as a custom source we created. So that we will attach it here. Okay. And then we have the currency code. So let's say I have also the foreign currency transactions or the JVs. So I can specify that. In our case, we will, for the demonstration purpose, we will use USD or functional currency. Okay. And we have journal entry creation date. So in our case, the creation date and the date effective will be same, but it's not that always it will be same. It might change as well. So on which case it will change is that, let's say the effective date should be from January, let's say 10th of January, but I'm creating this particular JV today. So I have one future enterable period. So we have seen that future enterable period is nothing but I can enter the transaction or the JV, but I will not be able to post this particular JV because the period is not open. But anyway, I have defined one period as a future enterable period. So in this case, what will happen is that I will say that creation date is December, and I will say effective date is January, 10th of January. Okay, so that is how we will do it. But in our case, I'll take both as on same date.
Can you please
Okay.
repeat that again? Sorry, sorry. Just
Yeah.
repeat this part
Yeah.
about creation date and effective date.
Yeah. So effective date is nothing but when do we want to make this transaction in real time. And journal entry creation date is nothing but when we are entering this transaction. So in our ledger creation setup, we saw an option called future enterable period. So future enterable period is nothing but I can basically enter the journal entries, but I will not be able to post the entries because the period is not open.
Right.
So let's say now I'm in the month of December 23rd, and I wanted to post entry on 10th of January 2021. So this is not possible since the period is closed. But
Hmm.
I have enabled one period as in future enterable. So I can enter the transaction. So what I will do is that here in effective date, I will say 10th. So here the effective date I will say as an 10th January 2021. But here in the creation date I will say as an
December.
23rd December. Yeah, correct. 23rd December.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what. And here we have actual flag. So actual flag, this is like to specify whether we are using the actual one or the budgeted one. So
Hmm.
I'll say actual, and even in real time we will have only the actual because
Hmm.
budget
Right. It's
based
not a
on,
budget. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, correct. And this depends on our account code combination that we have created.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's say I created an segment combination in a way that five segments will be there. One is company, uh, department, location, account, and maybe future segment. But here I didn't specify segment one as an company or any segment. Instead, I started from segment three. So here I cannot start my values from segment one. I will start from segment three. So this will be my first segment and second segment, third, fourth, and fifth. So similarly, I'll give the combinations accordingly.
Sorry, sorry. Please repeat the segment one, segment two thing.
Yeah. So the segment one is nothing but the value that we are giving at the chart of account definition. So
Hmm.
there, let's say I have five segments. One is company and a department, location, account, and future segment. But when I'm defining the segments, I have defined in a way that company will start from 3 and subsequently 4, 5, 6. So in this
Hmm.
case, I will not be able to use first and second segment.
Got it.
Yeah, so system will throw the exception. So similarly, I'll start from 3, 4,
So
5.
basically, it uses segment fields that are mapped in your system.
Yes, correct.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what. So this is the basic ERP thing that we should use two minimum segments, and this is with the maximum bandwidth of 30 segments. So we will see till 30. Okay, and we have entered debit and we have entered credit. So yeah, this is understandable. And other part is that we have the converted debit and converted credit. So converted debit and credit will come in when we have the foreign currency transaction. So let's say my functional currency is USD. I have my operations only in US. So in this case, I will not use basically the converted debit and credit since I'm using only the functional currency. So let's say I'm using the other currencies as well. Let's say I'm trading with Europe, some other country in Europe. So in this case, I will have the converted debit and credit. And when I'm saying specifying the currency, I will specify this as an euro. I will not specify this as an USD. So that is when I will use the converted debit and credit.
Hmm.
Okay. And here we have a batch name. So batch name is nothing but collection of journals. We will say batch name. So probably this I can say under one batch I might create it. So why I will create under one batch is that it will be easy for me to understand when I import this journal batches in the system. Okay. So journal entry name can be different. Since I'm migrating only the trial balance, I will say one journal, but there are possible cases where we might have multiple journal entries as well. Okay. And then we have journal entry description. So probably if you wanted to specify the narration or the description of this particular journal entry, so that we can specify it here. Okay. So these are all information on the header level. So we haven't come to a line level. So line level information is like we will have the account code combination and we will have narration. So line level narration is different from the header level narration. So this is for the header level narration. Okay. And these are like journal entry reversal period and this thing. So since we are loading the balances, we don't need to specify the reversal period and the other things. So these are optional for us. Okay. Yeah. So this is where actually the line level information starts. So where we will specify journal entry line description. Okay, so for each line, basically we will specify it. And similarly, if we are using the foreign currency transactions or the journal entries, so we will specify the currency conversion type because system
How will
will
the header and line get linked? Like, will they have the same header? Line will have the same header reference number
linking is
or what?
basically
How does it
the
work?
journal batch or the journal entry name because I will have the same batch name for all these entries. And there are possibilities that I might have probably 10 journal entry. I can have it. And for each one, I will specify line 1, line 2, line 3 subsequently.
Yes, yes. Hmm.
Yeah. So this will be our linking point.
Which one? The reference name is it?
Yeah. Reference name. That is batch name and the journal entry name. This combination will
Same, right?
basically,
Like in this case, I have two journals. Let's say there are two journals I'm loading.
okay.
Each one 100 lines.
Okay.
Which is journal one, which is journal two.
Okay. No, like let's say I'm in this case I'm loading with 100 lines. So for 100 lines, I will have this particular combination called full balance type. Let's take this one, full balance type 0, 1. And for the other two, I will have full balance type 2. So I will identify with this combination. I will say that this is the batch name and this is the journal entry name. So with this combination, I can identify that these are the lines because I'm entering each line here. So if you see here, so this will be duplicated. This might be duplicated, but the line level information will not be duplicated. So this way I can identify.
Mm. So in this
Okay.
case, can you show me which is the header and which is the line?
Yeah. So till this point, the header level information. So till this point, like we have the journal reversal method, right? So till
Okay.
here, it is only the header level information. So after this, so we have journal entry line description. So from here, actually the line level information
Oh, it
starts.
all comes in the same line, is it? It doesn't.
Yeah, yes, yes, same line.
Oh. So if there are 100 lines, so each line will contain the header also.
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, that is why I was saying
Every
that.
line will have the, what is that, all the way through, what is that line description. Till then, it will have the same header information copied over.
Yeah, yes, correct. So this is like optional information. So if we don't want to give it, we can just skip and we can navigate to the mandatory informations.
Okay.
Yeah, that is why I was saying that this could be duplicated, the batch name. Because for, let's say I have 10 lines. So for each 10 line, I'll have the same batch name.
No, I'm asking, my
Hmm.
question was more like, there's a, like, very simple to the original EDI file. There's a header line, okay?
Okay.
That has 10 lines, so it'll have a field for saying a number of lines in the header. Journal is lines is what are the journal made up of 10 lines, and then the journal total is say $100 or something. Debit is 100, credit is 100.
Okay.
And below that will be all the lines. I think it's a more simple or visual way of doing it, right? You hear it
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yes. For each line, we will have this. Yeah, probably when we enter a few lines, so we will understand more clear, I think. So it is simple that I will say line 1, line 2, line 3, and I will say the journal entry as in same for all these three line because this line I'm having it under one particular journal line. So this, I mean, journal header. So I'm entering there as an header. and here I'm splitting in the line, and I'll say that this is my debit and this is my credit, and this will be my account code combination. So we have
Okay.
given the combinations there.
Mm.
Okay. And with this group identifier, basically we can identify the journals.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and others are basically the additional informations. Like there will be requirement that they might wanted to track this one as well, the DFF. So that is when we will have all this information, attribute 1, 8, and the other columns. So usually it is mandatory only till this point, like the interface group identifier. Okay, so this is the format basically to load the journal entries. Okay, so let me give the sample records, and we will try to load the journal entries. I think there are no sample files, so let me fill it up manually. Yeah, so I will navigate back to the application to show how to identify the ledger ID. Yeah, so here we have defined accounting configurations and primary ledger. So ours is Tata PL. So this is our ledger. So this is our ID. So this I can see it from here basically. So if I want to show all the fields, I can show, or maybe if I don't want to show the ledger ID and the other information, simply I can deselect these options. Okay. Yeah. So I have taken this. I have copied this.
So there's nothing in the header to say how many lines it has and what's the general total.
Yeah, so that it will not specify that because if you see, so this is based on the account code combinations that we are giving.
Mhm.
So when we say two account code combination for the same journal or the batch name, so which means
Mm.
we are creating two different lines
Mm.
in this case.
Okay.
So that is why basically system will validate based on this particular combination. So let's say here I have given same journal name as well. So if I'm creating a new name here and I'm entering another line here, the combination. So which means this is a different ledger, I mean different journal entry with the line number one. So that is the understanding.
Mm.
Actually, I had the sample trial balance to load it, but somehow I missed the backup when I changed the system. So probably that the original TB that we will see tomorrow. So today
Mm.
we can see the normal upload. So how it will work for. So here in this case, I have taken the simple journal entry that is rent debit and cash credit. So I'm just specifying the period name. Yeah. So I have filled in only the mandatory information. So now we can change this actually. I mean, we can convert this file into CSV.
Look at it quickly. One second. Can
Yeah.
you just go back, please,
Yeah.
to the start? Just to understand. So the first line.
Yeah.
Um, yes, please scroll to the right. So this is the, you have a debit here. So please go ahead.
Yes.
So until this part, it's the header, is it?
Yeah. Yes. No, actually, it is combination. So that is what I was saying. So when we say the different account code combination, so this will form a line actually.
Right. That's what I, okay. That's my understanding of it. Okay. So the head, okay. So there is a debit for, it's debiting 7680 and creating 1223, right?
Yes, correct.
Right. And, but where is the header?
No, that's what I'm saying. This is combination. Like if you see, so let me explain it here, and I will navigate back to the application, and I'll explain it. So
Okay.
if you see the batch name and the journal entry name, so this will
Hmm.
these information we will give it in the header level information, and
Okay.
also adding to that we have the categories and we have the effective days, all those things. So
Okay.
this
Okay.
also we will give it in the header level information.
But where is the, so it is going to build a header from this data, is it?
Yeah, this particular data consists of both the header and line level information. So we cannot
Okay.
freeze exactly that till this point it is a header level information, and from this
Okay.
point it
Okay.
is a line level information. So
Okay.
that we
So
cannot
the
freeze.
yeah, I understand now better because in PeopleSoft, this
Okay,
generated is very nice and very simple. There's a clear header line. Okay.
okay,
It says header, the journal ID is this much. This is the header. Then it has 10 lines. So, so that you know the next 10 lines are the belong to the journal only.
okay,
And, so it has the same journal ID as the header and then line 1, line 2, line 3. Then
okay,
you can see all the uh, this one, the chart of accounts for each of the lines.
okay.
So very simple and straightforward. Here it seems like a combination thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. This actually, if you see this FBDI template, so this works based on the combination. So we cannot say this is header or this is line. But
Hmm.
whereas if you see the AFBDA template, there we can segregate this is header and this is line level information.
Okay, okay. All right. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just navigate to this just to show. So here if you see, so this is our AFBDA template. So here we can clearly identify the header and line level information. So these are all our header information. You are seeing the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here we can see the header informations. So that is our journal source category and the ledger and the accounting date, all those information.
Mm.
And the combinations we will still give at the same level. That is, each will be splitted out into
I
different
got it. Got
cells,
it. Yeah.
but we will have these things like
Understood.
yeah.
So, but in when you have multiple journals, nobody will do one journal, right? You'll do multiple journals. So,
Multiple journals we have option called multiple journals. So here basically we can get. So we have two options, either to enter as an single journal or enter as a multiple journal.
right.
So if it is multiple journals, we will not have the header level information. It will
Okay.
be brought down to this page.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
But this will be splitted. Like till this point, it is header level information.
Hmm. Okay. Got it.
But whereas in the FBDA, we cannot split it that way. So that is the
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting more clarity now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what. So we entered a simple this thing entry, that is rent account to cash account.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is the identifier that I have used, that is 891 290 3839.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm done with
Okay.
my data entry. So
Mm.
the next step is to generate this file as an CSV format.
Mm.
So to do that, I'll just click this generate file. Okay, so now I have saved this the data that we have created as an CSV file in my local drive. Okay, so now we can navigate back to the application and we can see that how to load this particular values. Okay, so this is the program that we will use. So that is load interface file for import. So what this program will do is that this program will basically read the file and this will place this data whatever we have created in the interface table, and there we will have the set of validation in the interface table, and the interface program will check those things. So the interface program that we will define it here in the import
Mm.
process, we will specify that program. So that is journal import. Okay, so after the validation and everything is clear, so basically the data will be imported into our base table. So here I'll just specify import. So here I have two options. So either I can load this file as a new, or I can load and then I can select it from here. So selecting, loading and selecting is an two job. So we can directly pick the file from our local drive. So here I'll say upload a new file. So from here I will select from the respective path. So this is the CSV file that was stored in our local this thing. So I have selected and I'll say submit. So this involves two process. So after completing this program called load interface file for import, so basically we will have other this thing also, another program called journal import. So that will complete our import process.
Mm.
Yeah, our load program is complete. So we will run the journal input. Okay, so this is the program that we will run as a last step. So system has picked up the data access set based on the assignment that we have given to this particular user called Arun12. So we have assigned the data access set as Tata Auto PL. So system has picked automatically. So let's say I don't want to run for this particular data access set or the ledger. So I can select this list of value and I can select the respective data access set. So I'll select the source that we created. Okay. So here our group ID is this one. So let's say I have multiple group IDs and I wanted to import all those group IDs based transaction. So I can say all group ID. So in this case we know and we are using only one group ID. So I'll specify the group ID here. And we also have an option to post to the suspense account if at all we have enabled at our ledger options. So we don't want it to post it to suspense account. So I'll say this as a no. And the system will ask whether we wanted to create the summary journal. So summary journal is nothing but the consolidation and the other parts. So we just wanted to have this as a normal journal entry. So I'll say this also no. And also I don't have any additional information. Okay. So if I have the descriptive flex field, that is additional information, I have two options, either to import with validation or without validation. When I say with validation, system will validate with the setup that I have made for the DFF. So without validation, it will not validate. It will just import as it is. Okay. So I have given the mandatory parameters. I'll click submit. I think we might get exception in period because I selected adjustment period. Let me see. Yeah, this is imported. Probably the period is open, so it is imported. So now we can navigate to the journal page, and from here we can check for our journals. So I'll search based on the category. Yeah, so this is our batch that we imported basically. Yeah, so here if we see, so these are the two entries that system has, I mean, these are the two lines that system has processed. Yeah, so this is the batch name that we gave to import it. and this is the journal entry name that we gave. Okay, and here if you see, just one minute. Yeah. So here, if you see, so this is the batch name that we gave, and along with the group ID that we have given. So based on the group ID, system will generate the batches. Okay. So the other informations are common, like the information whatever we have given there. So it has been replicated here. Okay. So this will be in unposted status. So we will have to post this particular entry. Okay, so now we are able to edit the screen because in source when we are defining the custom source, so we specified that this will not be frozen. So when we import it, so this will be
Mm.
available for editing. So that
Okay.
is why we are able to edit it. If not, so unless this is under exception or this thing, so we cannot edit this particular page. So it will be frozen. Okay. Yeah, so the currency is USD, so we are seeing the same thing. So I will just post this entry. Yeah, the posting program is complete. So let's verify once. Yeah, so the status has changed to posted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is in complete and posted status. Okay, so yeah, so this is one thing. And so the next part that we will see is that so probably the trial balance I'll try to get the file tomorrow, and
Mm.
meanwhile we will see few foreign currency transaction and we will see the revaluation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good. Right. Thanks, Arun.
yeah, yeah. So we will see that tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow same time, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Good night.
Thanks.